A war because of a dwarf? How one bullet ignited the whole world. Imagine that just 1 minute between a small-bodied young man and a 50-year-old elderly man was enough to ignite a world war, burning the entire world for 4 years and killing more than 40 million people. The story of World War I is not just numbers and dates. It is a series of strange events, crazy decisions, and coincidences that changed the fate of a continent and the fate of humanity as a whole. Let's go back to June 28, 1914. In the city of Sarajevo, which at that time was part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, Archduke Franz Ferdinand, the heir to the throne of Austria, was on an official visit with his wife. What he didn't know was that a secret Serbian group called the Black Hand had planned to assassinate him. One member of this group was a young man named Gavrilo Princip, a thin, sickly young man who had been rejected from military service because of his short stature. The surprise? The first assassination attempt failed. One of the conspirators threw a bomb at the Archduke's convoy, but it exploded after the car had passed, injuring some of his companions. Despite the danger, Ferdinand decided to visit the injured in the hospital. But the driver made a wrong turn, and without any prior planning, he stopped the car in front of a cafe. And who was sitting there? None other than Gavrilo Princip. He couldn't believe his luck. He pulled out his pistol and fired 2 shots. One killed Ferdinand, and the other killed his wife. And in that moment, everything changed. The great game begins. Austria told Serbia, "You are to blame," and issued a stern ultimatum. Serbia accepted most of the terms, but Austria had already decided on war. On July 28th, they declared war on Serbia. The contagion spread quickly. Russia entered to protect Serbia. Germany entered to defend Austria. France entered against Germany. Britain joined in. Japan joined to seize German colonies. The Ottoman Empire later joined Germany. In less than 2 weeks, the whole world was in flames. The deadly alliances. The world split into 2 camps: the Allies, France, Britain, Russia, followed by the United States and Italy. The Central Powers, Germany, Austria-Hungary, the Ottoman Empire, and Bulgaria. People entered the war thinking it would be a short war, maybe a few months. But they weren't prepared for trench warfare, toxic gases, tanks, airplanes, and millions being killed for no reason. Mass slaughter. In the Battle of the Somme alone, 1 million were killed. In Verdun, 300,000 died. The Brusilov offensive, more than 1.7 million dead and wounded. Soldiers spent years in the trenches, in mud, blood, and constant fear. Every day, thousands died for just a few meters of land. Human moments amidst the horror. But despite everything, there were strange and moving moments. On Christmas 1914, German and British soldiers stopped fighting. They came out of the trenches, exchanged greetings, played soccer, and sang together. But the next day, the killing resumed as if nothing had happened. In England, football players who did not volunteer for the war were attacked and accused of cowardice. As a result of this pressure, the football battalion was formed, consisting of professional players who went to the front lines, many of whom never returned. The end of empires. The war changed the face of the world. The Russian Empire fell, and in its place, a communist revolution took place. The Ottoman Empire fell, and its territories were divided. Germany collapsed, turning into a troubled republic. Austria-Hungary disappeared from the map. In contrast, the United States rose as a global superpower, and from the ashes of the war, a new player emerged: the Soviet Union. The armistice, and seeds for a coming war. On November 11, 1918, the war ended, and Germany signed the humiliating Treaty of Versailles. The treaty placed full blame on Germany for the war and imposed harsh conditions. This humiliation and anger became the fuel for a man named Adolf Hitler, who, 21 years later, began a Second World War, which was more devastating and deadlier than the first. A war that started with a shot from a dwarf of a young man, rejected from the army, and ended in a global catastrophe. 40 million victims, and a devastation that changed the map of the Earth. The question is, did we learn? Does history always repeat itself, or can we change?